What's up, social media? It's Matt here. I just wanted to make this video as kind of like a precursor, as kind of like a heads up of what we're probably going to experience in the cryptocurrency marketplace in the next, 2 to 3 months. Now, I want you to do me a favor. If you're watching this video or you're seeing this post, if in the last 5 years you have listened to my annoying advice or my annoying posts about cryptocurrency, sound money, blockchain technology, all the above, if you've invested into cryptocurrency over the last 5 years or got into the space because of me, and your life has been impacted in a positive way, financially or in any other way, please comment below and let me know, because I would love to know that my efforts of evangelizing this space is actually working. I know it has. I've gotten lots of testimonies, but I wanted to make this video just so you guys know what my expectations are on this bull market, plus what my investment strategy is going to be when we come into this new bear market that I'm suspecting. If you've been listening to the radio show on KRMG, which is 102.3 FM here in Tulsa, you can check it out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, anywhere where there's major podcasts. We've got the episode up there, even on YouTube. Episode 26, I was talking about this subject that I'm talking about on this video. Go back, listen to it. I'll post a link to it in this post. But most importantly, here's what I think is going to happen. Historically, quarter four in a bull market cycle has been the most bullish part of a bull market. And what I mean by that, the price of these cryptocurrency assets are going to appreciate greatly. Bitcoin's going to do phenomenal. Bitcoin's done phenomenal for me over the last five years. But the altcoins, there will be plenty of them that outperform Bitcoin percentage-wise, but they are a whole lot more speculative, risky. I was around in 2017, because the thing you got to remember about cryptocurrency is it's very cyclical. It kind of has these 4-year rhythms due to Bitcoin's halving cycle. Everything tends to follow Bitcoin. When the liquidity comes in the space, it first pours into Bitcoin, then it trickles down to to maybe like the top 10 altcoins, and then it continues to go lower and lower. But once we get into this euphoric phase of the bull market, where we start hearing all this positive news, everybody starts talking about all the major gains that they're seeing in their cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shibu, Inu, any of the cryptos out there. Your grandmother, your Uber driver, all the haters, they're going to be sliding in your DMs, and they're essentially going to be asking for advice. They're going to be like, hey, I hear about this crypto thing. I want to get into crypto. And so I want to advise a little bit of caution. Yes, it is going to be a phenomenal ride, and people who have not been a part of these cycles before are literally going to have their minds blown. Their face will melt every morning when they start looking at their portfolio once this thing really kicks off, and they're just going to be like thinking, man, I am the smartest guy in the world because I got into cryptocurrency. You're going to have projects that are going to be 10xing, 50xing, and even 100xing. And it's really a sight to see, because there's no other marketplace in the world like cryptocurrency. It's a very small marketplace compared to other asset classes. And because of that, we are now on the verge to where cryptocurrency is slowly seeping into the mainstream. It's going to get even more attention than it did in the 2017 bull market cycle. You have more institutional money in the space, more adoption. And so my word of advice is just be careful, think clearly, don't get emotional. And if you're buying into cryptocurrency for the first time in this bull market cycle, or this month, or the next 2 or 3 months, word of caution: be ready to, if you're not willing to try to take profits along the way, be ready to stay in the market for 4 to 5 years. Typically, what happens is a lot of newbies, a lot of new people come into the space, they start buying, and they buy it at very high price points, very much at the top of this bull market cycle. And when that euphoria stage kicks in, and we're looking at Bitcoin doing $5,000, $10,000, even $50,000 a day moves, these moves happen very fast, and who knows how long the price will stay at that point, at that blow off top moment. So even though maybe Bitcoin hits 200,000 and rose $50,000 in a day, it may only stay there for a couple hours or a couple of days. And then we'll start, seeing this decline. And the thing that you've got to know is if you're buying into the space for the first time, we will see another bear market. That is my personal opinion. We will see a very deep correction of 50 to 80% correction in price from the top of the blow off top of this market, and a lot of people will get destroyed. And a lot of people will think, oh, cryptocurrency is over, I lost all my money, the party's over, and then they're going to start selling when the price is dropping. So in other words, you want to buy when it's red and sell into when it's green, take profits when it's green. And a lot of people do the opposite. They only want to buy when price is green or when price is going up, and then they want to sell when they're fearful, when they see the market declining, because they think, oh, I got to save at least what I have. I've got to, I got to make sure that I don't, lose more money. And so then they sell when everybody else is selling. And the problem with that is you actualize your losses. You lock in those losses. And what I want you to think is, if you're buying now, learn the fundamentals of the space. Know that this is a long-term play. And know this, as much as the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin in many ways in this bull market cycle, they will do much worse in a bear market. So typically, historically, what we've seen happen is when Bitcoin goes into this bull market cycle, the altcoins outperform. But then once Bitcoin starts to correct, essentially what happens is the altcoins will still pump upward. They'll still appreciate in value for probably 3 to 4 weeks after Bitcoin had a big drop off. And because the thing is people are going to be thinking, okay, well, this is just a correction in Bitcoin, let's keep this party going. But then the further Bitcoin keeps going down, then that's when everybody realizes, hey, this bull market party is over, we're going to go into a bear market. Then everybody starts selling their bags of their altcoins. So yes, the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin in this bull market cycle, but again, Bitcoin is the long-term play. Bitcoin is the saving mechanism that continues to go up despite its major corrections. It's always higher highs and higher lows. History doesn't necessarily repeat exactly, but it often rhymes. And I'm making this video and I'm sharing my strategy because I want you guys to know what I'm doing. This is not financial advice. I'm not liable for any decisions that you make. I'm just sharing what I am doing. So I suspect that Bitcoin will get to about anywhere from $135,000 to $200,000 at the height of this bull market, this blow off top euphoria phase that I keep talking about. Then from there, we'll probably correct downward for about a year. We may bottom out by the year 2023 around $40,000 or $50,000 per Bitcoin. And so what my strategy is this, because the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin in this bull market cycle, I am going to sell probably about 80% of my altcoin positions because I've got fairly large positions in a lot of things, but that's just because I've been dollar cost averaging, buying on the regular basis for the last 5 years into these different projects. Most people who have not been in this space as long as I have are not going to benefit quite as greatly as I am because I've been in this for the long term. And so I encourage you to do your homework, get into this long term. So, okay, back to my strategy. What I'm doing is once this bull market starts, I'm going to sell about 80% of my altcoins or my positions in them once Bitcoin hits about $96,000. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to sell it all at once. I'm going to, just like I was dollar cost averaging in, I'm going to dollar cost average out. So about every week, I'll take $1,000 or however much, percentage wise, and I'm just going to slowly take profits on the way up. And I'm not going to try to perfectly time the top, and I'm not going to perfectly try to time the bottom, because if this is a long-term play for you and you gradually enter the market and exit the market by dollar cost averaging in and dollar cost averaging out, you don't have to worry about trying to time it. You're going to benefit and you're going to see major profits regardless. So with that said, once we do see that blow off top, and I've spent all this time dollar cost averaging out of my altcoin positions, what am I doing with my Bitcoin? Well, my Bitcoin, I've never sold. I keep accumulating and putting more in, or getting more Bitcoin. And what I'm going to do with my altcoin profits is I'll probably take some of it in cash, probably sit on it so I can buy back in at the bear market once we bottom out within about a year or so. And then, so that way I'll be, buying more crypto. And, here's the thing with the altcoins, we don't know which ones are still going to be around, 4 years from now. In 2017, there was a lot of cryptocurrencies that did well in the bull market cycle and outperformed Bitcoin, but they didn't have staying power, and they're not here today. So my advice is Bitcoin is the staying power. Bitcoin is the granddaddy. All the institutions are getting into it. It's here to stay. So Bitcoin, like I said, is my savings mechanism, which I try to accumulate as much as I can. It'll continue to do well. But my altcoins is what I use to speculate and gamble with. My altcoins, I will take profits and I will pour those profits into in more Bitcoin, or I'll sit on some cash so I can buy at a later date at lower prices. But again, I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I have no need to sell my Bitcoin. I will sell most of my altcoins in this bull market cycle because they will do very, very well. In fact, many of these positions have outperformed my Bitcoin position. But once that bear market does come, the one place that you want to be careful is you don't want to be sitting in a bunch of altcoins come the bear market. Yes, Bitcoin will take a big hit, but the altcoins will take a much larger hit, and people will get destroyed even harder. And so I would just advise you guys to be smart about this. Don't be emotional about it. Don't try to perfectly time the top, and don't perfectly try to time the bottom. It's almost like winning the lottery. It's very rare. I've done it before, but I don't plan on trying to do it again. And so your better bet is to, like I said, gradually buy in throughout the course of many years, get your positions, understand the projects you're buying, understand why you're buying them, and then dollar cost average out into profits. And here's the unique thing. If this is not a normal 4-year cycle, because like I said, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has these 4-year cycles that kind of come in waves, that kind of eerily rhyme with each other. If that structure is broken, and if those models no longer work due to the change in the macroeconomic environment, because I still have my Bitcoin position, I will still have a seat on this rocket ship, because there's a thing called the Bitcoin super cycle that a lot of people are talking about. So if there's a frenzy of adoption for Bitcoin and there's no turning back and the cycles break, then I still have a great position. I'll still benefit greatly. But if it's not a Bitcoin super cycle, and let's say the dollar, the fiat currencies that we use today, are still in use for 5 to 10 years, we haven't had some kind of restructuring of the financial system, then I'll still benefit as well because I took profits on my altcoins. So best case scenario, everything stays the same. I take profits, I buy in at a later date at lower prices. Worst case scenario, the whole financial system blows up, the monetary system blows up, and it restructures. And even though I sold my altcoins, I still have my Bitcoin position. And so I could ride through a Bitcoin super cycle. So I know that is a lot to take in, but if you want to sit down with me one-on-one for a strategy, I'd be more than happy to do that. I do consult people on this, and so it's going to be tricky, and it's going to be exciting, and you can't get cocky. You can't, if you're in the space, you're going to think you're the smartest guy alive because prices are going to be exploding so hard, so fast. Millionaires will be made overnight. That is how crazy it is. And when I tell people this, they have a hard time believing me because they've never been through one of these cycles, but it's very easy. Just take a 30,000 foot view, look at the charts for the past 12 years of the cryptocurrency market, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't suspect it to be very much different this time around. So, I expect Q1 of 2022 we'll have that big downturn and we'll start into a new bear market. I think, the next 2 months are going to be insane. So this is just my thoughts. I want to put this out there on the internet so that way you guys know what I'm doing. I don't want to see you guys get wrecked. A lot of people are going to get excited and they're going to want to buy into the market right now. You can buy in the middle of this bull market. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you do it, buy Bitcoin and be ready to sit on it for 4 to 5 years. And accumulate dollar cost average in for those 4 or 5 years as well. Build a position. If you buy altcoins, me personally, I plan to empty most of my altcoin positions by the end of December. Like I said, I may still sit on 20% of a bag, but just know that this is going to be exciting times, but these exciting times don't last forever. What goes up must come down. There must be corrections. But the important thing that you need to realize is it's been higher highs and higher lows. Why is that? Bitcoin, it's the most scarce asset that humans have ever seen. That's on the marketplace. And the dollars that we use today can be printed to infinity, and they will be printed to infinity. So, of course, number go up when it comes to Bitcoin. But like I said, if there is some reason that the system blows up, at least I still have my Bitcoin position, which is the most important position to have. That is the cornerstone of your cryptocurrency portfolio. I'm 80% Bitcoin, 20% altcoins. Like I said, my altcoins will outperform my Bitcoin, but my Bitcoin is how I measure my wealth. It is going to be the apex predator in the world of assets. That's my 2 cents, my 2 Satoshis. We will talk to you guys later.